What do we know about autism? Well, surprisingly little. We know it's an epidemic and the numbers seem to be increasing all the time. But what causes it? Well, no one's really sure even now. As you know, at one point the MMR vaccine was fingered, but the manufacturers assure us that's not the problem. So what causes it? Well, of course, neurologists and folk like that have been looking in the brain to find the answer, and new research out of Australia says you're looking in the wrong place, mate. It's all in the gut. And it's quite fascinating. Researchers at the university in Melbourne say that they've discovered the same gene mutations in the gut that are also in the brain of autistic children. So what they don't quite know is where does it start, but they suggest it probably does begin in the gut and then passes to the brain. And the clue that got them going on this was that around about 90% of autistic children suffer from quite severe gastrointestinal problems. And that got them thinking, well, are we looking in the wrong place? Let's not look at the brain, let's look at the gut and see what we see. And this gene mutation came up. And the actual mutation seems to affect the neural connections that take place in the brain, which sort of could explain why autism happens in that case. And it's specifically to do with the way that neurons interact with each other. They say like Velcro, so they stick together and they stay in close contact. But when this mutation occurs, this good stickiness isn't quite so sticky, and so there isn't the same connection going on. And it sort of affects many things, this mutation. Apart from seeming to be linked to autism, possibly causing autism, it also affects the way the gut processes food and the way the gut contracts, the speed that food moves through the intestine. So a number of factors at play here, which I think is absolutely fascinating. And now they feel they are actually a step closer to actually finding a resolution for autism. What caused it? What caused the gene mutation in the first place? They don't hazard a guess, they don't say. But if they can just get this mutation figured out, they're well on the way to solving the autism epidemic.
Well, this is really interesting because, as you say, you have to start asking the question, well, why do we have all of, if a genetic mutation causes it, how come we have an epidemic of genetic mutations? Because so many children now have autism or are on the spectrum. I mean, it's just unbelievably epidemic. Now, remember, this is a really important point. Poor Dr. Andrew Wakefield, who has been demonized for his view that the MMR may have been the cause of autism in the children he was seeing, started seeing those children because he is a gastroenterologist. And as a gastroenterologist, he kept seeing pediatric cases of children with severe gut problems and who also presented with autism. And so it was the gut problems that made him first get involved, because that is his specialty, but he started making an apparent link between MMR and the gut issues and autism because of the time issues. That these were all children who were developing normally with normal gut situation, and as soon as they had that vaccine, it caused these aberrations in the gut, and then there was the immediate development of autistic symptoms. So what we may be looking at, and we will never know if we shut down this investigation. If we decide, no, it can't be the vaccine, no, it absolutely can't be this, that, or the other, we will never know what's causing this epidemic. And so what's really important, I think, is to at least investigate this gut link, the potential link with a vaccine or vaccines, or a triple live vaccine or some aspect of it that is switching on this mutation or in some way, causing it? And that's the big question we have to ask.
Well, I think the sort of closest I heard to a concession to Wakefield was that these children had a proclivity to this mutation, and that at worst the vaccine accelerated the process, which would have happened anyway. But since then they've stepped away even from that position, of course, and said, well, it's got absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for a lot of parents who have autistic children, I mean, this is wonderful news. This is a genuine breakthrough. This is a real step on the road to finding a solution, which I think we have to praise.